Welcome everyone to Wake Up with GritConn. We are so excited to be here with all of you this morning. I'd like to welcome the panel of speakers, all of you out there. So welcome here to this Wake Up with GritConn Live. So welcome Leslie A. Rasmussen, Dr. Joy Wright, Prince Daniels Jr., Ray Leonard Jr., and Tammy Barlett. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here with us this morning, and I'm so excited to talk GritConn. So, so we are going to take a few minutes this morning to talk about the conference, GritConn, which takes place in San Diego on February 25th. This is going to be such an exciting event. And we're going to talk about who this is for, some of the takeaways, and you'll get to meet our speakers who are here with us today. So, for all of you out there, if you have questions, please throw them in the chat. We want to see them. We want to answer your questions today. This is why we're going live, to tell you more about this exciting event. So I'm going to start off by sharing a few things about myself. I'm one of the producers of GritConn. I'm also the owner of Core Women LLC, am a strategic coach, podcaster, doctor of psychology, author, and film and event producer. So that's enough about me. I want to jump right into this, and I want you to meet our speakers and other producers today. So welcome again, everyone. So Ray, I'm going to go to you. I'm going to jump to you. Can you tell the folks? Yeah, you, Ray.
It's still early out here.
There you are. I'm going to tell the folks, tell us about you and tell us about, some of the takeaways, or not the takeaways, who this is for, actually.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Ray Leonard Jr., businessman, entrepreneur, actor, moonlighting, I guess, Dancing with the Stars guy. Uh, um, uh, yeah, I've done it all basically. So, but right now my passion has been speaking and running companies and creating opportunities for the next generation and mentoring entrepreneurs. So I've started my first business when I was right out of college. Became a sports agent, and then I saw the movie Jerry Maguire, and I said, if Tom Cruise can be an agent, I can do it too. So I created a company, and somehow I was able to pull it together and sell it by the time I was 26 years old. So it gave me the love and passion for being an entrepreneur. And one of the things that you miss is the mentorship and being able to connect with others and know that when you're able to do that, you're able to grow and make things happen, not just for yourself, but for others, and not make the same mistakes. So that's why it's important for people to come to GritConn and conferences like that, because it's for entrepreneurs, it's for veterans who are transitioning, it's for people who just want that professional development. We have so many different amazing speakers that are on here, different stories, and it's going to be incredible to see everybody there. We're going to have fun. If you want to level up anywhere within your business or your life, you got to be there.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome. Woohoo! That sounds exciting. I can't wait to be there.
See,
So
I do this for a living.
you're fantastic. Oh my
Oh, I'm my own hype man too.
And obviously he's humorous too. So let me jump to Dr. Joy Wright. Dr. Joy Wright, tell us about yourself and some of the takeaways that
Absolutely.
attendees. Go on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you made me go after Ray. That's not fair. But just to start, I'm Joy Wright. I live in Temecula, California. I'm lucky enough to work with Ray Leonard Jr. We're business partners, and I get to listen to him and be entertained and motivated by him a lot. So that's great. And I am so excited about GritConn. One of the biggest things is to meet Leslie, Prince, and Tammy in person. And I've gotten obviously to meet Summer and Ray, so I'm very excited about it. About me, I started in 1989, went to the Naval Academy, went to flight school, flew, did not get to fly all the combat hours like you did, Tammy, which is so impressive. I can't wait to hear you speak. But I did fly, I was a backseater in the F-14, and then unfortunately for medical reasons was diagnosed with lupus and had to get out. So had to reinvent myself and got my master's in psychology, my doctorate in organizational development, and found probably my favorite passion, which was motivating and getting out there and training and helping people. So Ray and I've gotten to work with the military, and so I brought those two things back together. So I'm really excited about GRITConn and can't wait to be there.
Awesome. And the takeaways, there's so many takeaways here. I just can't wait for everybody to join us and walk away going, oh my gosh, I've got a ton of things that I can apply to my everyday life. I am so excited about that and bringing community together. So I'm going to jump to Leslie A. Rasmussen. Leslie, thank you for being here this morning with the panel. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your talk and maybe one of the takeaways.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to go. GRITConn is one of those things I wish I had gone to many, many years ago. I was a TV sitcom writer and I had 2 kids. And at that point I thought, I can't do these hours anymore. So I stayed home with my kids for a while and then went through exactly this, trying to figure out what to do with the rest of my life, knowing I could not get back into my passion, which was writing for television. So basically, I went through a lot of steps, which I'm hoping to share some of them at GRITConn, but a lot of baby steps. And I am not a risk taker. So the way my life went, I took a lot of risks. And I would love to share exactly how I did that. But I went back to school, got a master's in nutrition, because that's what I was very interested in. I opened my own business. I ran my own business for 10 years. And during that time, I started writing again because I knew, I felt it in my heart that I missed writing so much, and went on to do that again for a Huffington Post. I wrote a lot of articles, a lot of fun, humorous personal essays, and then realized I don't want to do my business anymore. So again, I closed my business. I took a chance and I wrote a book, which was way out of my wheelhouse. And so that book came out in 2021. I write women's fiction, and my next book is coming out in supposedly this year. I'm just waiting to hear from the publisher. So that's me. But I'm so excited to be there because I wish I had this so long ago and so many times.
So Leslie just quietly said, "Yeah, I was a writer for a sitcom." Didn't say, like for big time sitcoms that people love and watch all the time, some iconic things. And she's a UCLA grad, so
Yes, I am. I'm a
you
UCLA
guys
grad.
said good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Los Angeles.
How exciting. And I'm so glad that you mentioned those transitional aspects of your journey because we all go through them and it looks a little different for each of us. And sometimes, when we're at a certain point, we're like, where do we go? How do we start again? And this is such a great conference for that, for those transitions, learning how to get back up, learning some of the steps. I'm so excited because you each have a story and how your journey progressed looks a little different. And that is so important because everybody's story is going to be a little different, but people are going to be able to pick up on some maybe new tips, new skills, new ideas. So thank you so much for sharing part of your story. And I can't wait to be on stage with you asking you more questions. So I am going to punt the ball over to Prince Daniels Jr.
I knew from the football analogy that I was coming next.
That's right. Oh my goodness. So, Prince, tell the viewers today a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be talking about and maybe a takeaway.
All right. So good morning, everyone. And so it is a good morning. My name is Prince Daniels Jr. I am a former NFL player. I'm also a high performance mentor, coach. I work with everyone in terms of mindset growth. And I live in San Diego, California. Ray Leonard Jr. is also my business partner as well. So I get an opportunity to be entertained by him and be his hype man, and he's my hype man as well. So we're constantly hyping each other up. And and I'm really excited about this GRITConn opportunity. Just being on stage with everyone because we have some fantastic people there. Some of the things that I will be talking about is transition, and there's more to resilience than we know. A little bit about my background. Went to Georgia Tech, graduated from there, but I played football there. After that, got recruited to the NFL. After the NFL, I ran into a brick wall, a self-identity crisis. After the self-identity crisis, I had some suicidal ideation that led to a couple other things, and then it led me to a monastery. And I lived at the monastery for 3 months, and I did some self-rehabilitation. And I really started to understand about transition, right? Which is the thing that we're speaking about this morning. And I started to really understand how you can become more creative with your transition and understand that everyone in this world goes through transitions. So we're not alone whenever you go through a transition. And the things I'll be sharing at GRITConn is more about how to embrace your transition, understand when you're going into a transition and what you need to do. So a takeaway would be like a breath work, and not just any breath work, right? Because we take our breath for granted, but understanding that when you have a shortness of breath, you really pay attention to your breath. And so we become more familiar with our breath work to help us transition through our everyday lives and through our small and big decisions that we have to make.
Oh my gosh. I loved when you talked about breath work. It made me take a deep inhale. Oh my goodness. That is so important. Breath is life, right? And so we forget to breathe sometimes when we're going through life, when we're speaking, when we're nervous. And one of the things that I just recently read is if you think, I know this is a extreme example, but if you think you're having a heart attack, breathe deeply, have some deep breaths, try and get those deep breaths in. It is life, right? So I just, that is so important. Those transitions you've been through, I can't wait for people to hear about your journey and about how you transition and that resiliency. I don't know if I've told the viewers yet what GRIT stands for, what GRITConn stands for. It stands for growth, resiliency, intention, transformation, and connection. And truly, we are going to be covering all these aspects of GRITConn, of grit, and what that means, what that looks like. And it's going to be your opportunity out there, folks, to ask these folks, and others that are there who have been through their own journeys, how they grew their grit, what their grit is about. So, moving on, I'm going to buzz the tower on my way to you, Tammy. So I'm going to introduce Tammy.
I love your transition, Summer. Like you were just moving straight through, very smooth today. You were on it.
Yeah,
you were on it.
Check your 6 or something. She was going to add something, Tammy.
I couldn't help it. I had to
It's
add
a full flyover or something.
I spill my coffee as you buzz the tower.
That's right. Sorry, Tammy. I had to do it. I had to do it. So welcome, Tammy Barlett. Please tell the folks a little bit about yourself and one of the takeaways or some of the takeaways that you're going to be talking about.
Thank you. And thanks for inviting me. I'm Tammy Barlett, and I am a retired fighter pilot who spent 20 years in the Air Force. And as you can imagine, as a female fighter pilot, which thank goodness is going to become something that's not a big deal anymore, praise the Lord. I had a lot of things I had to persevere through and many challenges. And during my career, I also had 3 children. So when I hit the 20-year point, despite the fact that I could have kept going, my husband and I decided that it was time to put the kids, rearrange our priorities, if you will, and put the kids first. And for me, I had to keep my professional side of me going. It's just not something I could let go. With the experience I had. I had to share it with the world and help other people. That's my goal, is to help other people push through challenges. And so, although I never intended to be an entrepreneur, my speech will be really good for those people who are like, well, I didn't think I was going to be an entrepreneur, or, any transitioning military veteran as well. I decided to jump in and start a business, and it's called Athena's Voice. And we featured 10 female military pilots that go off into the world and speak and share their stories for the sake of making other people better and empowering other people. So my message really is all about perseverance. Resilience and perseverance to me are a little bit separate. Resilience is getting back up, and perseverance is pressing on and carrying forward. And I truly believe that perseverance is something that can be learned. And so what I'm going to share with you is I kind of went back over my career and dissected how did I get through all these challenges. And so I'm going to present, my steps on how do you persevere through challenges, because as we all know, when we take something on, we know it's going to get tough, but oftentimes it gets more difficult than we anticipate. And then we start having thoughts, little voices in our head saying, well, maybe this isn't the path. Maybe I should quit. Maybe this isn't for me. And I am going to talk all about how do you overcome that, because it's so important to overcome those little voices that are not truthful to you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I can't wait to. Well, here's the thing about Tammy's presentation. It's so fun. It's so uplifting. It's so inspiring. I cannot wait to hear it in person. It's going to be so fulfilling. And there's going to be, with each of the people on this panel today, they're going to have something to share. GritConn is about also coming together as a community. It's about connection. It's about going beyond that transactional networking of here's my business card. Let's be in touch, right? No, it's about relationship building. And relationship building to me is so important. And it's important, obviously, to all of these people here on this panel today as well. And so, with that said, there's going to be an after conference mixer. And part of that mixer is going to be our opportunity as a group, as all the attendees that are there, to get together and really start building some really important relationships, some collaborations potentially. I can't wait. Does anybody on the panel want to mention or ask anything else or mention anything else today?
Well, I just wanted to add my the takeaways from the conference.
Sure.
After listening to all the amazing introductions, like I said, I am so excited to hear from Tammy and Leslie and Prince and the production panel, Ray and Summer. But the big takeaways, when you listen to just their intros, when we were looking at GritConn and how to produce this, we wanted to look at one of the things Tammy said, which was break limiting beliefs and patterns, those things that pop into your head and you think, I can't do it. And trust me, I'm sure all of us have felt that at some point, and I definitely did throughout my career. How to develop that growth mindset. I think every one of our speakers are going to do that. How to unleash your talents. We have talents, and I think all of you mentioned something that where all of a sudden you started doing something, and it might be asking a friend, what are some of your strengths? But we're going to help you with some of those tools and takeaways, incredible speakers to help you unleash some of your talents. How to apply those transferable skills. Tammy, you mentioned something about what you get to that point, and sometimes you do have to kind of change over and do something else, or you have your family and your 3 kids. And what are some of those transferable skills you can take from the military or from your sitcom writing, Leslie, or Prince, from playing football and sports and entertainment? You and Ray use that in your podcast, talking about everything. So you reinvent yourself in those ways. And then lastly, Summer touched on was basically the networking. We look at it as sometimes going in and giving our business card. And I know people that get even nervous at those, like they get that feeling in their stomach, I don't even want to network. And that's not what this is about. This is about nurturing meaningful relationships where we get to know each other. Because what I found throughout my career, whether it was in the Navy or post that, is those meaningful relationships not only help you in your personal life, but your professional life. And so building those relationships at the conference, and not only listening to the speakers, but getting to know them during the social at the end.
Absolutely. Yes. Tammy, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to make 2 points. First of all, the connections are so valuable, because especially as a transitioning military person, or anyone transitioning at all, truly, is you're stepping into a new arena. You have something new on your plate you're trying to tackle. And sometimes sitting here as an entrepreneur in my office by myself, it's pretty lonely. And you can really get in your own head about the whole imposter syndrome. And am I doing this right? And so having the connections, I've built a lot of connections over the last 5 years since I've retired, and they've been so powerful. And that's truly what's changed my business and helped me stick with it. And, the other thing is that transitioning it's difficult, and this happens, I'm sure, with professional athletes and business people who change jobs. But as a pilot who retired, sometimes that thought goes through my mind of, I only know how to fly planes. And that's not true. And so, but it's a very common theme amongst people who are transitioning. They think they only know how to do what they did because that's how they define themselves. This redefinition period is very challenging, but having these true connections and these amazing speakers share with you about how to get through this transition, or whether you're up leveling or you're a military spouse trying to start a business, it doesn't matter. They're all going to be so valuable for you.
Oh man, I'm sitting here just so inspired already and excited. Leslie.
Um, Listening to Tammy, I so agree, because writing is such a quiet thing when you're writing a book, not when you're writing sitcoms. You have a lot of people around. And I was always used to a lot of people. So when I started writing my book, I was alone all the time. So creating a community of authors and friends and people that I could go to and be supported by was so important. And what I write, and both my books, are about very relatable issues in life: marriage, empty nest, infertility, pregnancy, all kinds of things that I think a lot of people can relate to. But I do it because I don't want people to feel alone. I want them to read my book and see their aging parents and what's going on, or their kids leaving for college and their identity is lost. And that's why, I want to write about, because I did it, recasting yourself in the second part of your life. Yeah. And I think it's really important, especially even for anybody who took time off, whether it's to raise your kids or to figure out that career isn't right, or you get laid off and you want to change careers, because it's scary. But there's a lot of things you can look at in your life that you're good at, that you can possibly turn into something.
Absolutely.
You know what? I just want to sit and do a table read with Leslie. I want her to write a sitcom, and I want to do a table read.
Okay.
Sign my acting chops. But one of the great things that was brought up, and Tammy and Leslie and Joy and Prince, we all know that life is not linear. It's a roller coaster. You're going to go through ups and downs, but it's how you come out at the other end. Sometimes when you hit that roller coaster and you go up, your stomach drops, you hit things that are unexpected, and then at the end you come down to the calm. And so that's one of the amazing things. I love this panel of speakers because they bring you to the calm. Like, we've already gone through a lot of the stuff of the roller coaster, so we're coming back to a place where you get down, and people that have been through it to give you some information, to give you some wisdom. Like my grandfather told me, when you know better, you do better. You only know better by going through something. If you don't go through something, you can't get to where you want to go. So we're here. The information is here. You have amazing people, an amazing panel. They're all very, very humble right now. they're talking about their stories. But if you look them up, you will see this is an amazing panel, and it will be so exciting to be there and see what we're going to do. And we're going to have fun too, right, Summer?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to mention that. Prince, did you want to say anything else?
I was trying to be humble. Well, I'm going to release my inhibition. I think, just to echo what everyone has been saying, just that community that fosters that growth mindset that helps you get out of that rut. When you're stuck in the rut, when you're stuck in your own space, in your own mind, it can become very challenging. And so this GRITConn community that we're building, that we're establishing, it's all about helping you get through everyday life. Because it's, sometimes what we do with everyday life, we put it on this pedestal and we look at it, it becomes overwhelming. And so we have to bring it back in. Remember that we're in control. We have to do the small things that equate to the big things. And so for me, it's just more so about making sure that we have the connection with one another, making sure that we remind people, as Leslie said, as Tammy said, as Joy said, as Ray said, as Summer said, that we have to remind everyone that you're not in it by yourself. We are here as well, and we've been through the process, so now we're coming back to recast and share with everyone, hey, don't worry. No, that's not who you are. This is who you are. And you look at them in their eyes. And once people see that you believe in them because you learn how to believe in yourself and the decisions that you made in life, then I'm pretty sure that they will wake up and find and renew within themselves and continue to forge forward in life and make a positive and beautiful life.
Oh, okay. So much wisdom already. So many tips. I'm like, wow.
I want to be humble.
I'm just already so excited. We've talked about transitioning, redefining, connection, that this really resonated with folks, that life isn't linear. It's tangential. It can be all over the place. It can be, wow. I mean, let me just give you a little glimpse into my background too, just so that you know. Not only, I had a vision for myself growing up. It was to be that woman in the corner office. I grew up in the 80s, so I'm kind of dating myself here. I know. So I grew up with the movies like Baby Boom, Working Girl, and my vision for myself was, I want that corner office up there with the window. That's what I'm going to do. Well, I ended up marrying somebody in the military. Guess what? That took me all over the country, living outside of this country, in another country for 3 years, watching my husband go off to war, finding a job every 3 years. And boom, if that isn't transition and figuring out, oh my gosh, what do I do now that I've married this person that I love? And yet that's not how I envisioned my life. But what do I do? What do I do? And sometimes that journey felt lonely. Sometimes that journey was harder than other times, because maybe I didn't really appreciate where I was located at the time, and jobs were limited and all that stuff. Yet I found a way. I kept getting back up and going through those transitions because I wanted to make a meaningful life for myself. I wanted to enjoy life. I wanted to move forward. And there was a way to do that. And it was through those different transitions, through those different ways that I perceived at the time my life and how I was going to move forward. So my life was full of transitions because every 3 years I had to move. I moved with my husband. I watched my husband go away while I lived out of the country. So war for a year. And I was by myself in a country that I was like, well, why am I here? I can't find a job. I'm on a little island. What do I do now? And how that looked in regards to reinventing myself. And then further on, it's once he got out, what do I want to do now? And that was entrepreneurship. And so we all have our transitions that we've lived through, and we each did it maybe different ways. And this is what's going to be so rich and rewarding about this conference, is that we get to learn from each other. We get to meet each other. We get to connect with each other. And also, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a mentalist there. They're going to be doing and engaging with the audience. It's going to be so much fun. The after conference mixer is going to be a party. We're going to have a DJ there. We're going to have some food there. We're going to have kettle corn there. We're going to have so much stuff. We're going to have a photo booth there. It is going to be a lot of fun. So we hope that each of you listening today, each of you that watches this replay, will join us at GRITConn. Register now. The ticker down below is showing you how to register. The opportunity is now. Register today. Join us right there. Right down there. And if you go to corewomen.com, you can also find the way to register there. Any of our pages, you can probably find a way to register there. There are so many ways to register for this conference. But do it today, because seriously, you all want to be in San Diego, beautiful San Diego. You want to be joining this panel. You want to be there with us, making those connections, not feeling alone, growing your network. So thank you, everybody who has joined us today, who is out there. If you have any questions for myself, Leslie, Dr. Joy, Prince Daniels, Ray Leonard Jr., Tammy Barlett, please find us on LinkedIn. And yes, send us your questions. Anything else in closing, folks?
Nope. Go ahead, Ray.
Looking forward to it.
I always got something to say. I'm a speaker by trade. I mean, I'm just looking forward to getting my two-step on with DJ Hustle, walking down the red carpet. I'm gonna be fly. My gear's gonna be on point. So make sure you come through. The cool thing about this conference is Summer talked about the mentalist, and I don't know how many people have seen that, but the guys are coming. They call the Saint Twins, and they are phenomenal. They like mystify you with everything that they do. So we break it up. We have opportunities for people to engage and connect with others. And it's not like your typical conference where the speakers go on and then you can't see them ever again. You don't have a time to interact. We made this smaller and intimate to make sure that you have those opportunities. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend, because if I'm gonna be there, you better be there.
That's right. And thank you, everybody. Dr. Joy, did you want to say something?
No, I'm just excited to meet everybody in person and do the good nurturing relationships all day long. So great opportunity for everybody. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Ray, for mentioning DJ Hustle, because he is amazing. He is going to be so much fun. All right. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Dr. Joy. Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Suzanne, for joining us out there. Brett, Scott, and all the others that have joined us today. If you're watching this replay and you have questions, again, feel free to ask us questions. Find us on LinkedIn and register today. Thank you, everybody, for being here with GritConn, Waking Up with GritConn. Take care. Ciao.